Hey guys, if any aspect of the entertainment industry deserves a televised awards show these days, it's the live musical performance. I mean, have you been to a concert recently? And no, that bar band you stumbled upon last Saturday who let you take the stage and belt out Badlands doesn't count. We're talking large-scale, light and laser-laden live shows. You know, the kind that would crumble with a crew of less than 300 people and costs you a week's worth of wages to attend. Given the music industry's current climate, these spectacles are integral to the financial success of an artist and the fat cats who made them. So why shouldn't they be celebrated? Well, the time has finally come. The very first edition of the Live Nation Music Awards air on TNT and TBS this Thursday, October 1st, giving the finest moments in live music this year their due. And while we enjoy a killer concert as much as the next guy, we're also partial to musical moments that totally miss the mark. And if we can catch them on a loop in the comfort of our own home, all the better. So for those of you who feel similarly, here are 10 cringeworthy concert clips that must make musicians wish YouTube didn't exist. Number 10. Harry Styles gets sacked on stage. Don't you dare pretend you don't know who Harry Styles is. Even for a second. Ugh, fine. For those of you insecure enough to waste my time by being like, huh, who? He's the long-haired dreamy dude in One Direction. Oh, you're more of a Nile guy. Well, to each their own. No matter which member of the group you find most aesthetically pleasing, you know, if you had to choose, it's always fun to see a powerful pop culture figure fall, especially if said superstar happens to belong to a boy band. Back in February of 2013, some Glaswegian directioner grabbed 1D's attention by throwing a shoe on stage. Mistaking their confusion for encouragement, the fan proceeded to chuck the second sneaker, which wound up whizzing by the audience and sacking Styles so hard he toppled over. Hilarious is a humongous understatement. Number 9. Katy Perry can't play the recorder. Before I get into the physical blunder captured in this clip, I think we should all take a moment to acknowledge Katy Perry's first mistake in covering Jay-Z's Big Pimpin', which is of course that she's a cheesy white pop star covering Big Pimpin'. Unless done impeccably, which to be honest is basically impossible, it's just not a good look. Anyway, for one reason or another, Perry thought it'd be super cute to try her hand at this little ditty, belting out the lyrics in typical pop diva fashion. As previously discussed, not very flattering, but fine. As an extra little flourish, Perry pulls out a recorder to play part of the classic instrumental hook. You know the one. And the crowd goes wild. She's killing it. Upon the third or fourth repetition, Perry misses her cue and the humiliating truth is revealed. She was flute syncing this whole time. And for future reference, that thing is not actually called a flute. It's a recorder. Now you know. Number 8. Iggy Azalea falls off stage. So it's 2015, and in case you hadn't noticed, everyone is over the whole Iggy Azalea thing. Even Iggy Azalea is over the Iggy Azalea thing. At this point, it's barely even fun to rag on her. I mean, no matter how hilarious the snarky remark, we've almost certainly heard it before. That being said, it's still so satisfying to watch her take a tumble during the MTV VMAs pre-show performance. It's insane. It's far funnier than the what the fuck did she just say freestyle from the Splash Festival 2 years back, and it'll make you laugh loads more than seeing her photo plastered all over a poster for white chicks. This clip is the king of all Iggy memes. Hands down. The best part is, you can't even feel all that bad for finding it funny. Not only did Azalea push through the fall and finish up fancy like a pro, the rapper made a half-assed attempt at laughing it off on Twitter. That officially makes it fair game for the rest of us, right? Number 7. Beyoncé lip-syncs the national anthem. On the surface level, this clip seems a-okay. Beyoncé, queen of pop culture and all other things, does an incredible rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner during Obama's second inauguration ceremony in 2013, moving everyone and their mother to tears. Commentators mentioned something about technical issues, but it sure doesn't sound like it. Her voice is beyond impeccable. Given the quality of this performance, you're probably wondering about its inclusion on this list. I mean, what exactly is the issue here? Well, if you'll recall, days after this performance, the internet was all a-Twitter about the possibility of Miss Knowles pulling the wool over our eyes and karaokeing this magical moment. Shortly after those speculations arose online, the singer fessed up. She was undoubtedly 100% most certainly lip-syncing and not at all singing. And that's kind of a big deal. Every time this clip comes to her attention, she surely shrinks up in embarrassment. I mean, wouldn't you? Number 6. Billy Joel goes crazy in concert. So, did you know that boring old Billy Joel was actually kind of a madman back in the day? That's right, New York's finest was once famous for going off the rails from time to time. And this clip captures the piano man at his worst, in terms of live performances anyways. Never have you seen a balladeer rage so hard that it's actually kind of heartbreaking. Simply put, Joel was charged the fuck up during this Moscow show in 1987. And while it's unclear what happened just prior to his performance, one thing is certain, he did not want his audience lit. Why? Who knows? But the lighting guy's inability to follow simple instructions inspired the singer to do some serious damage. I mean, he straight up flips over his piano, shows an innocent mic stand no mercy, and thrashes around the set while interspersing his surprisingly chill singing with fits of yelling and screaming. Yeah, you show those inanimate objects who's boss, BJ. Number 5. Marilyn Manson collapses in Saskatoon. Remember the good old days when the mere possibility of Marilyn Manson coming to town could send an entire city into a frenzy? I remember it like it was yesterday. Family-focused folks would warn neighbors to keep an ear on their children's music consumption habits and watch out for any mildly satanic imagery in their mode of dress or choice of bedroom decor in the fear that evil Manson, not like, you know, the concretely evil one from their youth, but that other guy who dressed funny, had seduced them into his wicked world already. Those concerned adults claimed the singer sacrificed puppies at his shows and performed lewd sex acts on stage. The horror! The horror! I'm sure these good Samaritans didn't expect Manson to continue touring for another 20 years, slowly transforming into a relatively normal middle-aged person. You know, just like them. And I'm sure Manson himself never dreamed he'd be caught on camera collapsing on stage and barfing by accident. But much to this quote-unquote monster's dismay, his "I'm too old for this shit" moment will live on YouTube forever. Number 4, Green Day's breakdown at the iHeartRadio Festival. Out of all the clips on this list, this one may be the most insensitive to include. So that being the case, a little disclaimer seems appropriate. Here goes. Please note that since this appearance at the 2012 iHeartRadio Festival, Green Day singer Billie Joe Armstrong has sought help for substance abuse issues and, as a result of rehab, has become significantly less of an asshole. Drugs are bad, stay in school, the end. Now back to business. While Armstrong's overly aggro reaction to his band's set being sliced in half at iHeartRadio can largely be blamed on the drugs and alcohol,
I've been around since fucking 1980 fucking 8. And you're gonna give me 1 fucking minute? You gotta be fucking kidding me! You fucking kidding me! What the fuck? I'm not fucking Justin Bieber, you motherfuckers!
there's still part of you that thinks, wow, this old dude sure feels entitled, doesn't he? It's one thing to rant, rave, and smash guitars. I mean, you know, rock and roll, etc. But it's quite another to rage against other artists for simply being, well, more relevant than you. It's just so ugly. You clearly still have a slew of genius fans who get it and don't buy into Music Inc. or whatever, but after a few decades in the business, can you really ask for much more? Kiss freaks out at a guy with a laser. Is it just me, or does Kiss seem like the kind of band that'd be willing to put up with some serious shenanigans during a live show? Surprisingly, the makeup-clad rockers, famous for barfing up blood and spitting fire for crowds in concert, can dish out way more than they can take. The proof? In 2007, the band brought their show to a screeching halt after some guy started pointing a laser pen in their general vicinity. Instead of simply telling him to cut it out and moving on, singer Paul Stanley spent a good 2 or 3 minutes ripping him a new one.
Take the laser out one more time, I'll put it right up your ass, promise.
Not only did he call the fan, who likely paid a pretty penny to attend the event, a loser, he also threatened to shove the toy where the sun don't shine. I mean, is that any way to treat a card-carrying member of the Kiss Army? No. Bonus, a similar situation went down 2 years later and the group reacted just as poorly. Guys, I mean, camera phones, they're a thing now. We can see what's going on. Number 2, Pink falls off stage. Say what you will about her music, but Pink's always been an incredibly impressive and astoundingly athletic live performer. While her musical repertoire is mostly made up of middle-of-the-road radio hits, her stage show is a completely different story. The singer's definitely got a bit of a circus freak in her and insists on incorporating things like pyrotechnics and acrobatics in her touring act. In this day and age, when musicians can barely make ends meet off of album sales alone, a crazy, complicated concert setup like Pink's is a smart move, until one of the many moving parts malfunctions and something goes terribly, terribly wrong, of course. Such was the case during this performance in Germany, memorialized on film for our enjoyment and Pink's embarrassment. After assistants start strapping the singer in for some kind of high-flying stunt, something goes clearly awry. We hear Pink scream, "No, no, no!" before she's flung into the concrete pit in front of the stage. And predictably, expletives ensue. Number 1, Ashley Simpson booed off stage at the Orange Bowl. Oh, Ashley Simpson, that whole music career thing wasn't easy for you, was it? As if having to live in your older, blonder, and much more marketable sister's shadow wasn't hard enough already, you were faced with so many additional hurdles during your time in the spotlight, all of which, of course, were heavily documented and will haunt you forever. First, there was the incredibly awkward and embarrassing as hell eponymous reality show, and then mere months later, you hoedowned your way off stage after that epic lip-sync fail on SNL. After taking a little breather, you're asked to play the Orange Bowl in 2005. Could redemption be imminent? Could football fans, America's most gentle and forgiving beasts, be your ticket out of this mess? With all the passion you can muster, you belt out La La, your least sexually charged yet totally radio-friendly hit. Exhausted, you punctuate the ending with one of your signature yelps. You pause, Did it work? Is this your big comeback moment? No, not in the least bit.